Welcome everyone to an ODM showdown with Fantalemonade leading the forces of the Dowie going up against Magic Yang as the children of the Old Ones. So for the Lizardmen today, we are going to start here on the left flank with the hero, the Skink Priest of Beasts. So the Wild Caster today with the Amber Spear, probably going to try and get on this left flank here, try and see if we get a nice magical missile there down the flank of the Dwarfen forces. Otherwise, we're going to see some transformation of Gadons here for those Manticore summons to really rip some terror there into the middle of the Dowie, and also Wild Heart to give us some extra mana. So for the front line, we are going to start with 3 cheap units of the Skink cohorts. 46 speed is going to be pretty fast there to really rip around the flanks and shut down all that range. We're going to have 2 units of the tanky Dwarf Warriors to really hold apart the middle of the force here, and they're going to be supported by 3 units of the armor-piercing or red-crested Skinks. Included here, the Regiment of Renown for the cohorts of Sotek, coming in with Refuse to Die, Frenzy, and of course the Unbreakable status. On the flanks, we are going to have the double Bastiladon Arcus Sotek, here with those sneaky poison snakes, coming in with that nice tick damage over time, which is really strong up against all levels of infantry. Unfortunately, we can see here a cannon absolutely ripping through the Dwarf Warrior ranks here, and doing a lot of damage indeed. In the back, the same could be said here up against the Boxagors. The big boys in the back, they're coming here with the big spanky paddles. These bad boys can do some really good work, anti-infantry, armor piercing, and when supplemented with extra infantry in and amongst their ranks, they can perform super well here up against the Dowie. On the right hand flank, we are going to have the double Cold One Riders. Very nice cavalry indeed. 66 speed, brilliant armor piercing, good armor and shields, making them pretty strong up against range and all melee attacks. On the flanks, we are going to have the triple Skink Skirmishers. Chameleon Skinks are normally seen here in most matchups, but I actually think here Skink Skirmishers are really nice. They're going to be cheaper by about 250 gold a pop, which does mean here you can bring 3 rather than 2 of the Chameleon Skinks. And here you don't really mind that they can be seen. Stalkers, of course, is to protect the Chameleon Skinks, but the Dowie can't really catch these Skink Skirmishers. Even here with Slayers at 40 speed, 48 here is going to be the Skink Skirmishers, and Poison as well is going to slow them down and prevent that catch. So a really nice pick here coming in from Magic Yang. But speaking of Chameleon Skinks, we are going to have the god, the man, the myth, the legend. We are going to have Oxyotl in the front with the Master Predator and Cold-Blooded as a really nice item kit. So for Sir Fantalemonade here, the absolute legend here on the channel, we are going to be having the triple Dwarf Warriors here in the middle. So pretty nice tank there. 40 melee defense, 85 armor, making them rather tanky. But the tankiest of all tank is going to come in here from the 5 units of Longbeards. Going to be here with 100 armor, bronze shield, 48 melee defense, as well as immune to psychology, encourage as well for all surrounding units. Is really going to bolster here throughout the force and going to make it very difficult for the Dowie to break down. For the Lord Choice, speaking of tanky, yet again, we are going to come in with Belegar Ironhammer. Definitely one of the tankiest lords in the game. 120 armor, silver shielded as well, 60 melee defense. And yeah, he's super strong. Expert charge defense, encourage, loads of magic and missile resistance. You name it, this man has got it. He is very good here, and Oxyotl's worst nightmare. In the back, we are going to have the double Thunderers indeed, one here on either flank, alongside the double Cannons. So brilliant range here with also the Quarrelers, which actually come in with 6 AP per missile. Going to be very good there up against all those cheap Skinks, especially those cohorts of Sotek. In the back, we are going to have the triple Slayers here in the back, including the Dragonbacks, which are going to be the Regiment of Renown. A really nice unit here for the slow, as well as that added physical resistance, giving them just a little bit more tank. So brilliant forces coming in here from both sides, really well thought out builds. We can see her on the right. We are going to see some of these Skink Skirmishers trying to get around the flank, maybe trying to get a bit of a poke and stroke here, maybe on the Thunderers, maybe some of the Cannon Crews, or maybe even more importantly on the Slayers. 900 gold pop or 1,200 for the Dragonbacks is a lot of damage value here for those Skink Skirmishers. Now we do have a bucket load of shields here ready to go, and I'm sure here we're expecting some sort of force flank here, which is why we can see Fantalemonade moving out here with the Dwarf Warriors. But Fantalemonade is a well-experienced player here, and you can see his Dwarfen forces with an amazingly tanky front line. It's going to be ready here for the Dwarf Warriors. They're also super tanky. They do have 52 weapon strength, but only 29 melee attack. So can seriously struggle here to put out all that damage. Charging in the front here, we are going to see Belegar going alongside here some Longbeards, fighting up against the armor-piercing cohorts of Sotek. Poison and armor-piercing in their toolkit, but they're going to be suffering. Also under range fire here coming in for the Quarrelers. It's going to be a bad day for them in the middle pocket. Certainly want some Croxicore support. In the middle, look at how much damage, armor piercing here coming up against the Bastiladon. Cannons here and Thunderers firing and spraying up against the big beastie. 140 armor is not going to help him up against these bucket loads of armor piercing. He's going to be down to 2,600 health. Only 10 leadership to his name. Seriously low here indeed. Now, I do hear a Manticore summoned here on the left-hand flank from the Manticore, but if you look at these juicy lines coming in for the Dwarfs, that's certainly an Amber Spear waiting to happen. Now, we can see on the sides, we do have Skink cohorts fighting up into Dwarf Warriors. Dwarf Warriors are super tanky, great melee defense. Skink cohorts will really struggle to punch through this line without a bit of terror or single entity monster support. Arcasotek going down. Unfortunately, he's going to miss quite a few units here. I think that maybe was a bit of a misclick there from Magic Yang. But otherwise, he's doing really well here with the monsters. They are going to be super weak, but he is in the back on all those juicy targets. Dragonback Slayers do slow down the Bastillon. Oh my god, a cannon shot to the face as well. It's going to be turn and burn here. Comes from Fantalemonade, and that is a break there from the Bastillon. He's down to 2,400 health. -4 leadership, kind of there or about near to returning as well. On the right-hand flank, we do see Skink cohorts fighting up against Dwarf Warriors. And in the back, it's going to be, a little bit dire here for the Dowie. Moving in with Skink Skirmishers on the flanks, but we can see the Dwarf Warriors are getting pulled apart here by the Cold One Riders. Doing some lovely damage in the back, removing Dwarf Warriors, which are super tanky indeed. It looks like here, we did get a break for one of the Cold Riders. Nice work there from the Dowie. We should get a return. Actually, it's going to instantly rampage. That's a little bit unfortunate, but we should see some return there from the Cavalry. In the back, pretty close to the white line, we can see the Dwarf Warriors should be cleared out. We do actually see some of the Thunderers ready to go, but here, if we do have some good Skink Skirmisher play, we should be able to remove those to the end of days. In the middle here, we are going to have the Croxagors fighting up against the Quarrelers. Belagar Ironhammer is in. The man of Karak 8 Peaks is going to be fighting here for Karak Izor as well. As he gets and removes the Croxagors, the monstrous infantry is going to be cleared from the centre spot. It looks like here they're going to come to the left-hand flank. Not too sure for what reason. Maybe trying to see maybe a little bit of pressure here on the Thunderers. That looks to be the case. That looks to be where the big boys are coming. But it could be a turn and burn. We are going to see the Dwarf Warriors are going to be lining down sight, shooting into the flanks of these ginormous Croxagor. And these men do not care for any big beasties. They'll shoot anything in their path. But coming downhill, the Skink hero is going to be charging into the flanks of the Thunderers, trying to see if we can shut them down. There we go, big splash down. Oh my god, an absolute decapitation here in the front from the hero. Lovely stuff. Sadly here to see one of my Dwarven men follow and fall, but unfortunately that is how it goes here. We are going to see some Dragonback Slayers are in the mist. They're going to be charging down up against the Croxagors. Can they get in and use those big axes? But no! So we get in with the Bastillon as well. This unit of Thunderers has been shut down and terrified. Oh, we do actually get a return from the Thunderers. That is so crazy. We are going to see them come back here in the end ranks. So we do see that the Skink Skirmishers are going to be fighting in combat. Lovely stuff here in the middle. These boys certainly have lots of leadership. 80 armor and a silver shield as well to fight. Should give them, hopefully, a chance here to bring it back into the later stages. In the middle, though, it looks like we do break the Croxagors. It looks like Cold-Blooded was activated. Unfortunately, that's still not going to be kind of helping here. 3 models, 470 health is not going to quite be enough to keep them in the game. We're going to be seeing Skink Skirmishers here, kite jump against Dragonback Slayers. Longbeard's in as well. So we are going to be getting some hits. We are going to be trying to kite, but I think they were slowed. No, they weren't slowed, but they're really struggling to get away here from the Dragonbacks. If we get one hit, that's a 35% slow in total. So more Longbeards in the back, Dwarf Warriors chasing up against Skink Skirmishers. Over here on the left flank, Slayers and Dwarf Warriors clearing out the Cold One Riders yet again. Brilliant stuff here on that left flank. In the middle, Belagar going to be fighting with double Longbeards. No, it's actually going to be Slayers and Longbeards as we clear out the tanky Saurus Warriors. The boys here with the nice maces, unfortunately, aren't going to be able to clear out the big Dwarven heroes. Ongsheltel still sniping in the front. Going to be using 23 ammunition so far. 27 left still here in the pocket at 38 kills so far. You can see he's been shooting at some Slayers, also shooting at Belagar throughout the game. And sadly, Belagar is still looking very tanky here for the Lizardmen. Longbeard's going to be getting kited here by Skink Skirmishers. No APs, and we're also going to be having those bronze shields. Going to make them really tanky. So sadly, these Skink Skirmishers really aren't going to get any value here for those big Longbeards. In the back, we can see the hero, the Skink Priest of Beast, going to be fighting up against some Dwarf Warriors. We could turn and burn here with the Thunderers. It really does depend what sort of angle here we can get on with the Skink Priest. Sadly, line of sight is going to be a problem here for the Thunderers, and there we go. We do get the charge through here with the Skink Skirmishers. They're going to be hopping on and doing all the big disasterly damage here in the backside. I think here the nice big handguns do need to go away when you do need to bring out the axes here and fight. In the middle, though, a nice resurgent of force here. We can see some cohorts, mixing with some red-crested skinks and some skink cohorts, and it's like some skink skirmishers here, shooting in from behind up against the Longbeards. So a nice sort of sandwich coming in here up against the left-hand force. And something I really like to see from expert Dwarven players is keeping their builds nice and tight, keeping the majority units together, because of course their mobility is not going to be their friend. They're certainly a reaction faction. We are going to be seeing the cannons here firing into the middle pocket up against the bucket loads of skinks here on the left, and trying to see if we can remove those forces. Not too much to say here left for the Lizardmen. We can see the Dwarfs here kind of in the middle, still shooting here with those cannons. Oxyotl is going to be doing the damage in the back, trying to see if we can shoot up against the cannons. He's going to move around here. We do actually get some Skink Skirmishers in the back. They're going to be trying to charge here. There we go. Nice little shot there on the back. Only 40 armor there for the cannons, for all of the cannon crews. In the middle here, Belegar going to be charging here up against the Skink Skirmishers. They certainly don't want to fight in combat. They will handedly lose there to the Legendary Lord. The Skink Priest, he's going to be pretty low, 1.5k for him, requested 23 models. Skink Skirmishers still with a lot of ammunition here, it's going to be 7 in total. Oxyotl is getting a little bit low there at 12, so he's used 38 ammunition so far, which is pretty impressive, only 8 minutes into the game. We can see in the back there, nice work coming in from the cavalry. Mobility is certainly going to be in the advantage here of the Lizardmen. The Dwarves have to stay tight, and they have to stay true here to the nice Dwarven forces. Otherwise, we are going to fall apart here. Longbeach, you can see a little bit far out. And unfortunately here, I think they could get hopped onto if the Lizardman player knows that this is a little bit here of an isolated target. So there's in the middle, we are going to get 2. It's going to be all 2,852 models, 27 models, 1.3k, and that's going to be the main meat of the army left. We do have some pretty tanky Longbeards, but they're certainly, as I said, they can be kind of taken apart here, and that looks like it's going to be the case. It looks like here we are going to see a second and final Manticore here coming in for the Lizardmen. We do see Longbeards getting shut down here by the Kobold Riders, moving in with the Skink Skirmishers and the Skink Priest. With the Slayers trying to see if they can charge down up against Oxyotl. He's going to be having 6 ammunition left. You can see the Longbeards here getting pretty abused, but that leadership and armor is going to be holding here in the later stages of the game. 10 minutes in so far, both these players utilizing every single unit in their army right down to the very last model. Very nice stuff indeed. Now, the Fairy Manticore is going to be huge at this stage. At least you think so. But immune to psychology here for the Longbeards and Slayers left. There's going to be nothing left to tear out. So the main thing, I think this is the perfect play. Trying to see if you can slam on Belegar Ironhammer. The only one here that doesn't have immune to psychology, but he fears no ginormous beast. He relishes combat up against these ginormous foes. Going to be fighting in the middle here. This summon is going to be going hard. A big hammer to the face up against the Fairy Manticore. Terror is the friend here of Belegar Ironhammer, and he will yet again take Carrick Apex. In the middle of the Skink Skirmishers fighting, they're going to be wavering. Units all over the place here. Slayers are going to be going strong here. 77 kills so far. 100 for the Longbeards, doing really, really well. And it's like here, the Skink Skirmishers break. It looks as well both are going to break here on either flank. It's going to be Oxyotl versus the world. 2 ammunition left. 68 kills so far. Very nice performance. Fairy Manticore does break. Skink Priest breaks as well. Balance of power is going to be pulling into the Dwarven favour. Looks like we do shatter there with the Cold One Riders. The Skink Priest does return. The Manticore does fall. And I think here it's looking pretty bleak. Or we could see an Amber Spear. No, he breaks! The Amber Spear doesn't come out. And because it doesn't come out, I think that could be the end here. Oxyotl is going to fight. He was going to have to fight there in combat. He did just in that last second run out of ammunition. And he was more than likely going to fall here to the Dwarven Might. Excellent game coming from both players here. What an absolutely brilliant competitive performance indeed. Really well played to Fantalemonade and Magic Yang for putting on, yeah, yet again, a brilliant game. Oxyotl, 74 kills, 1,330 there for the big man. We also got 213 there for the Skink Priest of Beasts. 158, 196, and 160 there for the Skink Cohorts. Some units here that I really trying to utilize some more. They really do well there up against sort of Rangers with 40 armor, or like Rangers great weapons, maybe. They also do pretty well up against Cannon Crews and Slayers, but, you know, otherwise, I tend to find they actually get it shut out pretty easily. So they're kind of a bit of high risk, high reward, I feel like. That's 900 gold there that maybe could have been bringing some more armor piercing potentially. But 314, 400 as well from the Red Crested Skinks, with 700 and 606 there for the Dwarf Warriors, 550 there for the Cohort of Sotek. Normally see a bit of a higher performance, but of course those Quarrelers, as well as the Longbeards and Belegar in the front there, kind of slamming up into the face of the Cohort of Sotek, really shutting them down quite nicely. So we can see the Skink Skirmish, 615, 340 and 900, so 900 pretty good there, is kind of what you would expect from these models. I think they cost about 400 each, so yeah, pretty good there, all of them at least roughly paying for themselves. 400, 616 from the Cold One Riders, with 590 there for the Coxigors, 1,340 for the Bastillon, and the second one only getting 577, but you can certainly see what sort of performance you do get here from the Ark of Sotek. I've seen these things get up to 2,000 damage value here up against the Dwarfs if they're not dealt with correctly. But a great game here coming in from the man, the myth, the Fantalemonade, here with Belagar Ironhammer. What a Chad pick indeed. 380 damage value for the man, the myth, the legend. 512 there for the Longbeards. 403 with 400 and 540 and 102 kills to 750. Brilliant stuff indeed. 450, 230 and 430 here for the Dwarf Warriors. Another great performance with 380 there for the Quarrelers. 607, 440 there for the Thunderers, with the Cannons coming in at 750 and 1,230. Slayers in at 970, Dragonbacks not quite paying for themselves, but still doing pretty well nonetheless, with 580 and 1,500 for 120 kills. What an awesome game here between both of these legends. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please smash that like button. It really helps here on the channel. And drop a comment down below about what you thought. I'd love to know all your opinions. If you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe to the channel and also check out that description. You can find all my other social media platforms, including Twitch, but most importantly, that Discord, where you can see all of my single and multiplayer content here on Total Warhammer, all my other games, including Age of Empires, and also there you can check out that Replays for Casting section, where you can leave videos just like this one, so I can post it here on the channel in the future. Other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourself during these times, and I'll see you all very, very soon.